Hello, hello. Okay, microphone is working. Video is working. Why is it so far? Hello. Okay. New laptop is still updating the Sokoban land. We will continue programming. Okay, we're going to try to do a drop down today before I go to bed. Because that's not that hard, right? How fucking hard could it be? All right. I think, okay. I think we're just going to use a button theme. Drop down theme is a struct. I mean, what else do we want? That basically gives us everything that we wanted. Really. We're not even going to worry about most of this. Okay, so when we actually, well, we're just going to do a minimal drop down, and then we will. We're going to make a file here. Drop down is going to take a theme. And I don't know what, it's going to take a rect for R just describes the rect for the top of the dropdown. The individual elements below are sized according to theme.button theme. All right. Okay, so we need to give you the choices and the current value. So choices is going to be an array of string. Current value is going to be, I don't know, pointer to S32. Glad you like the witness. Glad you like the witness. Programming this late on a Friday. Yeah, I was kind of bored. So I was like, I did a bunch of programming today. I met up with a friend of mine and we went to a coffee shop and programmed a bunch. And I got a lot done. And then I came home and I was kind of goofing off and I was like, So I decided to program some more because it was really fun. Like actually, you know, last night I was programming and I was super tired and just had to go to bed eventually, but we got a concrete amount of stuff done. And like, if I just do that every night, it's a good way to get in an extra like 2 hours that I might not have otherwise done. And I might be a little tired, but it's still something, you know, it's not maximum productivity time, but it's good. Okay. So, you get a rect, you get some choices. You pass the current value and we will do the things. So we're going to say label is theme.button theme.label theme. And we're going to draw some things as well. So draw the background behind the primary choice. Okay. So that's going to need a color. Let's make this kind of yellowish or something, right? So drop down theme is going to need current choice color or active current value color. Current value. What do we want to call it? Because there's like all the choices in the drop down, and like Visual Studio has a drop down, right? So like here there's this thing, and then there's all these things. I guess that could also be a button theme actually. Right? So we're going to say instead of calling this button theme, we're going to say theme for each choice, theme for current value is also a button theme. All right. Okay. So label current value theme for current value dot label theme, right? And then label each choice okay. And then we're just going to draw some stuff. All right, so this had better be in range. Let's Let's call this current value pointer, pointer, and this is current value. Okay, if current value is greater than or equal to 0 and current value is less than choices.count, current string is choices current value. Okay, and then we're just going to draw a frickin' button, I guess. Oh, we forgot this stuff. Right, I forgot all my friendliness stuff. So for example, for the drop-down theme, if you don't pass one, we have a default one, which we have to go add. Okay, so we got a current choice. We get our current thing. Okay, we draw this. All right, and then if pressed, we do something. We'll toggle the thing, right? So we want to do this state. All right. We'll do this here. Table drop down from the hash. Okay, if pressed, state.open is not state.open. We're just going to say it's 100% open or closed. Later on, when we make it fancier, we could do transitions and stuff. But right now, it's just like, you know, oh, I didn't do this. Open is going to be false. So we'll just go ping and pang. All right. All right. So now what? Well, if we're open, we do some stuff. We say for choices, etc. Okay, first we say y is r.y. Let's say let's just say we don't need this till down here. We don't need any of this till down here. Okay. So we're going to talk about the different choices that you have. And this is just this. Let's say S. I guess we're going to make, for now, we're going to assume the choices are the same height as the original display, as the current value display. We can make that themable if we want later, of course. So we're going to go S is R, actually. And I could like draw an entire background behind all the buttons. For now, we're just going to call button. Like we might call a different function than this eventually, but for now, let's just assume. So button's going to draw an entire background. So yeah. Okay. So here we go. S dot y minus equals r dot, actually, s dot y minus equals s dot h. And then, actually no, because later when we make these different sizes, okay, pressed is button s, it, choice theme, right? This one's tricky. Because, like, what do I do? The problem is we want to make a separate identifier for everything. Yeah. Like we already have a button here using our, okay, we have an identifier and a hash for this dropdown. A button is in a different space, so it won't collide if we use the same identifier and location to get the same hash. Here though, we can't do that. So, oh, I could do the following. Sub hash is get hash for this location and it index. All right. And then we're going to have a combine hashes. Are you serious? That's a terrible hash. Okay. Okay, so we can, where's my Knuth? What? Really? Really? Here we go. Here we go. Boom. All right. So we're going to go, our handy number here is this, is a very secret number. There we go. Okay, so we're going to combine these hashes, and that's just how that is. Okay. Okay. So we now go to our button, choice theme. Oh, I don't even know. Blah, because we have to pass an identifier and a location. Okay, we're going to say loc and minus choice hash. All right. All right, that's fine. See, actually, we just cast it to U64 anyway. I don't know. We're going to have to beef this up at some point. Anyway, we do this, we do the button, we subtract. So that's something. All right, so we need to load this. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's just get it to compile. It does, fortunately. So we don't use the drop down yet. So we're gonna make a drop down with some things in it. And yeah. Okay. So I got the idea that we should provide a bunch of themes for people to pick, because these colors, these are all ugly colors, right? Okay, no big deal with the ugly colors. But we could make themes for people to use, right? And so those themes could have individual color sets. So we could come up with some awesome theme names, right? Okay. And then you could pick the themes in the drop down and then it would automatically change everything. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so awesome theme names. I don't know, like Blood Vampire. Very dark. Chai juice. Lasagna. Peach Panther, that sounds good. What are some other themes? Rays of Sunshine, is that all yellow and orange? Okay. We have to have chaos in there. That's probably enough themes, right? Okay, that's enough themes. So those are our awesome theme names. Current theme S32 is 0. All right. So we're going to go, we need to make a new rect. R is get rect. We're going to need to shrink some stuff down a little bit and move it over to have enough room on the screen. I don't know. Drop down stuff. So we do this, and we're going to say drop down. All right, we're going to say drop down R awesome theme names, current theme. Oh, that's going to be confusing. Drop down theme. All right. Okay. I thought we added that. Oh, there's a capital T here for no reason. Choice hash. Blood vampire. Hey, look, we have a drop down. Okay. Problem is, we don't, we have a few problems. One, we want this much higher up on the screen. Two, probably a smaller font. We could just make it wider for now because we're using the default font. Three, well, there's a bunch of things, honestly. We're going to want the little button over here, and like managing how that goes is going to be interesting. So you can just program an entire drop down before you go to bed. It's fine. All right. Where is this thing? Isn't that the Y coordinate? Yeah, it's X, Y, width, height. That's what I thought. So, oh, that's the... Oh, right. Okay. I'm thinking about this being at the lower left. Right. Right. Meh. You know, I'm not sure that I'm going to like this convention of the rects being in the lower left corner. So we might change all that. Because you do, when you lay stuff out, you kind of do want to go from the top down. Anyway, we'll deal with that when we do layout. So we're doing a drop out, a drop down. I don't know. I'm just going to put it higher, arbitrarily higher. Oh, that's way too high. Wait, I thought I made it wider. Width, 3.5. Did I change something else to 3.5? I remember typing a 3.5. Okay. Whoops. Rerun. Okay, so we need to make the drop down let you pick a thing, right? If pressed, because we're drawing in this loop, so we're going to set the pick choice at the end. Later, we probably will separate draw phase and input phase for all these, but for now, we're not doing that. All right, so if pick choice is greater than or equal to 0, open equals false, and current. Oh, actually, that goes in there. State.open equals false. Current value pointer equals pick choice. And then to be flashy, we can set the action Jackson. How do we do that? Changed. Update production value button. Update action durations. We're going to say, so when you change it, we're going to update action durations on current value state. This is bothering me. We're just going to do that. Oh, we need to cast S32. All right, so Blood Vampire, Rays of Sunshine, emotional damage. Okay, so see how we have like the leftover button press? We need to deal with that. That's a system-wide problem, so I'm going to procrastinate on that. For any buttons, if you click it and then decide not to draw it for a while and then come back, time doesn't pass. So we need to make time pass for everything. But anyway, so we have a drop-down now. And because it uses the button stuff, you can configure it just the same with like colors and justification, left, right, whatever. So really though, I think we want to add a little drop down button right down here. And it could even use one of these triangles. That we use in the spin box, but that points down. Do I use a singleton class for the state machine? Okay, A, I don't use classes. B, singleton means global variables. C, what state machine? Like, it's so confusing, these questions that people ask. Like, I don't even know. Oh, hey, Sokoban built. Let me just try out my new laptop here for a second. Oh, man, this touch screen is turned on. Gross. Gross. We're going to run the tests. People will be happy to know that I multi-threaded the tests today, which people have been bugging me to do forever, and they run a lot faster. How many CPUs does this laptop have? Let's see. Task Manager. More details, please. Performance. How do you get it to show the performance with all the details? Change graph to, there we go. So this has 8 cores, I guess, because it's showing 16 logical processors. It's an i7 10875H. All right. All right, Sokoban. Let me make sure to put it in performance mode. Best performance. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me make sure. What's it called? I need to make sure Windows Defender is off, although it seems to be impossible. Wait, what's it called? How come O&O Shut Up 10 is not responding when I search for Windows Defender? Is that just not possible anymore? That makes me sad. All right, anyway. So whether Windows Defender is going right now or not, this does seem a little bit slower than my desktop. So I'm compiling Sokoban. It is building with front end time 0.6 seconds. Oh, there we go. We just got 0.3. Let's get it. Interesting. Why is that so much higher than... Oh, because we're streaming now. This was before we were streaming. Okay. So this is like 0.61. My laptop is 0.61. So my laptop not streaming is about the same speed as this when we're streaming. Very, very interesting. It's very close. On my laptop, this is 1.19. So it's only a little slower than the desktop. Hope people are doing Shut Up 11 already. Me too. By the way, I almost raged through this laptop out the window because I guess it came installed with Windows 10 Home, and it was doing the thing where it won't let you start using the computer unless you sign up for a Microsoft account. And I had already told it my Wi-Fi, so there was like no way to go back. So rather than capitulate, I just burned a new USB stick with a different install and just torched the whole machine, deleted all the partitions and installed the new install because they can fuck off with that. Do I plan to port Braid on Android? No. Is it a Razer Blade 17? It's a... I don't know. Did I buy a 17 or a 15? Let me measure the screen. Uh, 15. Anyway. So we want to draw one of these little buttons. And I guess we'll cut it. All right. So we're going to go to the theme. .0 means it's square with width equal to r dot height r dot h. Okay. So we go back to drop down. And we're going to have a little extra button here. Now this is weird. I don't know how to... This is going to be kind of stupid in the beginning. Let's just do 2 buttons and then we'll figure out. Oh, we can hack it. Oh, we can hack it. We can hack it. Oh, yeah. Except if we do that, it's going to update frickin' twice, and that's not good. Okay, and then okay, so this is stupid. We'll make it better later. So what are R left and R right? Carve off the drop-down indicator from the rest of the button. Let's say indicator width is theme.dropdown indicator aspect ratio times r.h, and then we're just going to say r left or r right, r left is cut right of r by indicator width. There we go, like that. Whoops, we didn't want to make Sokoban. We want to make this. All right, so Blood Vampire. We're not drawing the arrow yet, but, you know. Maybe a different theme or some visual separation for the current value versus the list. There actually are 2 different themes. They're not set to anything different right now, but we could default them to different things. That would be, oh, right. Actually, no. So you're saying if emotional damage is selected, then when we have it open like this, it should be a different color. Yeah, I agree with that. So right now there are only 2 things. There's a theme for the top and a theme for stuff down here. And we should actually tweak those to be different just to illustrate that. But then, yes, the whatever is the current active choice should also have its own theme, right? In the choice list. Okay. So let's make these a little bit different as well. theme for we're just gonna do some, again, we're gonna come back and do all these better some other time. All right. Okay. And then for the current, each choice, we're going to leave those the way they are right now. For current choice, we're going to make it kind of red. That's not going to be that good, but we'll see what that turns into. Okay, so when we're in the drop down, we're going to say T is choice theme if the index is equal to current value actually just T equals theme dot, what's it called? Theme for current choice. Okay. And then this is just the theme down here. And hopefully I had current value and all that. Yeah. Okay. So blood vampire, emotional damage. Okay. These colors are way out of whack. So I like that orange though. That's pretty good. So you don't really see the down or held color. How do drop downs, should I wait till you release the thing? Yeah, like it seems like the convention is to wait till you release the button, right? Yeah. So like if I pick this and then scroll off, it doesn't pick. So that would be a good idea to maintain that. What do I have to start banning people? What's going on with all the flame? Oh no, not the not the whole text. Look, if text programming is bad, make a non-textual programming language that's better. That's actually useful for good things. Just, you could, like, talk is cheap, make something really good. If it's really good, then people will see that it's really good and you'll win. That is my attitude about that. I don't think that non-textual programming languages as we understand them right now are very good, But maybe that is because I haven't seen the good version because someone hasn't come along to make the good version, right? So yeah, building a compiler is definitely less work than building a game plus engine. Yes, it is. Like, I couldn't have programmed all the Witness myself in the time that I did it, plus designed the game and run the game, but I did program this entire compiler in less time than that. It's not that hard. Okay. Okay, this yellow is kind of gross. And so we'll make that more orangey, and then we'll try to make it better about man, I'm gonna have to go change all the frickin' rectangles, right? Like, it's just gonna have to be upper left corner going down, which I guess doesn't necessarily make it not right-handed, but ugh. Ugh. Okay. I gotta see that. I've seen the Dion Systems thing. They're just like, so far what they showed in that original demo is just the same kind of thing that people have done a bunch of times before, which doesn't mean it won't turn into something new and different, but you need to show, like, dude, every refactoring Java compiler from the 90s or Java IDE did that. That's what a refactoring IDE is it knows the syntax tree of your program and, you know, lets you edit it. So, like, they're basically doing it at a higher frame rate with, you know, slightly nicer visuals, which is cool, but, like, you need to find what the actual value add is of that representation. Right? Now, again, that doesn't mean it's not there. Maybe if they keep working on it, they'll find, like, the good reason to use an ast. But, like, we all know what's the bad, like, every single time when you're in Visual Studio or something and you're like, I want to edit my properties and I want to edit the directories here, and then you try to do this and it's like this shitty interface where you can only edit one line at a time, right? And you just want a real text editor and you don't have it. That's what editing an ast is like, as opposed to text. So you have to, like, make it not like that, but that's what it's like by default. Or, like, you know, when you're trying to select shit on a web page, but, like, it's all kind of out of order and you're trying to select a whole bunch of things, but you're getting this thing that you don't want. And, like, it doesn't make sense. That's what editing an ast is like. There are known disadvantages, which, again, okay, that does not mean that you can't do a good job that solves those problems, right? What I just said is identifying problems that need to be solved. And in fact, one of my actual pet peeves is people who list problems and say, therefore, that's why you can't do this thing, right? No, like, it just means you have to solve those problems. Now, sometimes those problems are not very solvable. Sometimes they are. Sometimes people just haven't tried hard enough. But if you're going to do a presentation on your thing and you want to convince people that it's going to be good, you need to preemptively say what those problems are and explain that you solved them, right? It's like if you go pitch your company idea to a venture capitalist, they're going to say, what about this problem? What about that problem? You need to get out in front of it and say, we've thought about this problem before you even ask, and here's what we're going to do about it, right? if you don't do that, if you just demo like, hey, cool, you edit the ast, you know, I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical, which again doesn't mean it can't be good. It just means I'm skeptical. Okay. And also, like, the idea of editing a syntax tree is kind of orthogonal to the actual semantics of the language, right? And so that's brings up a question of like, what are the semantics of the language like? And are they powerful and good, right? Okay. So anyway, I'm starting to get a little tired. But this is just our bonus programming time tonight. All right, let me get rid of that. I kept saying I was going to do the yellow. It's pretty gross. So the orange that we liked is mostly red. Right, and then how's that? Blood vampire. Okay, that's acceptable for now. Okay, so now we want to do the thing where clicking does not necessarily do it. It's like, what happens? Okay, what happens in this drop down if I'm still in the drop down box, but I just drag to another thing? Okay, it picks that one. So it actually picks whoever we are over. That's going to be a little bit, I don't know if our default button works that way. So let's just see. Let's see what happens as we start working on it. So we actually want released. I should just return the full status flags, right? Let's not do that. Okay, so we're going to return that. Okay, so or so okay, we actually don't just want to return release because we want to know why it was released. Or no, okay. Actually, maybe we just released just means intentional release. So if it's pressed and we say if status and over else okay, if we're not over, actually that's not right. Okay. Otherwise, if it's not down. Okay, but that means we can factor this way and go. And that's just better. Clearly. Okay. Okay. So now let's change this to be on release. Okay, so I'm going to go emotional damage, but I'm scrolling off. And we didn't get it. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. We did. Woke. I don't want to be woke. Very dark. Chaos. Okay, chaos is obviously the right choice. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. If you're dragging across the drop down, shouldn't the selection track? Yeah, maybe. I just am not that. I'm doing this one step at a time, and I'm kind of in the mood to do this arrow here. And maybe we'll put the dragging on the list because I feel like I'm going to be too tired soon. Let's put it on the list before we. This is sort of the stuff that I kind of maybe want to do before the next beta. We're not going to do all of these before the next beta because we already have value to deliver to the people here. Let's put this here. Added drop downs. We added scrollable regions and drop downs. Look at this is value for the people, guys. It's pretty great. Okay, the arrow is in the slider. We go spin box. triangle. All right, well, here's what we did. So we're going to go here. Going to go back to drop down. And we're going to go to yeah, we should leave that. Okay, lerp P4 P0 to P1 by 0.5. P5 is P2, P3. And then instead of state down, we go and I think that down rect get quad R right. Draw arrow. Do. Isn't it nice just to have a language where you could paste stuff from local to global? Isn't that great? Oh my God. I did, I made an arrow. Okay. It's artistic. It's artistic. Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Okay, what did I do? None of these points are correct. It's kind of amazing. How are they all rotated? Oh, because P4.y, P5.x minus y minus P6.x plus y minus. There we go. Okay, it's still too big. Like way too big, right? Okay. That's a little small. All right. This is super stupid. Oh, you know. That's good for now. The arrow should flip up. Is that a thing that people do? No. No, that's not a thing that people do. Although they are coloring it differently. I don't know. Some people do that, I see. Let's do that. Then let's be fancy. Let's do the following. Okay. We're just gonna get a DT here. We're gonna go. Do we have move toward? Yeah. Okay, so the arrow will flip up or down. We're going to say arrow flip up rate is 2, arrow flip down rate is 3.5. Okay, and then so we're going to say, should we rotate it? Or flip it? Let's rotate it. Thing is, I don't have a 2D rotate function, do I? Oh, in math, oh, we do. We do. Okay, we're going to rotate around the berry center, all right? So berry center is P4, P5, P6, 1/3, all right? And this is absurd, by the way. Let's just I don't think I had to rotate around, right? Yeah. Oh, if open, it's state.open and state.opent. All right. Didn't get all of them. Ah, I fixed this on my laptop, but I didn't recompile here, I guess. Rotate. Type wanted. Oh, are these rotate in place? They rotate in place for some reason. Wait, no, there's a... Is that a float 64? See, I fixed this error report. This rotate is... Wait, are these... These are vector 3s. Oh my gosh. I forgot about that. Okay, great. So, it's a little distracting, don't you think? Too flashy. Yeah, I mean, right now, though, I'm inclined to leave it because we're not really... We're not really tuning things for real right now. We're just sort of doing things to be a jackass sometimes, right? So, like, maybe this is fine. If you want to disable it, you can disable it by setting the rate to 0. Right? So if I go to this theme and set this rate to 0, then it'll never go up. It does still squinch, but rotate the same direction for open and close. Ugh. What's the function of the rotated arrow? People were saying sometimes they flip it up. I don't know. I didn't say to flip it up. I'm just listening to the people. Can you make it do a full revolution? We could, but Flips on KDE. Well, that's great. We want to be like KDE, I'm sure. This motion does kind of bother me, I have to admit, but it needs screen shake and particle effects, I think. Right? Doesn't it? Don't you wish this were 37 million lines of code like KDE is? Can I make it take 10 seconds to respond? Well, we can't make the frame rate that slow, but I'll tell you, we can make the arrow slow. Here we go. It's like you can pick your choice. It's like a speed meter, right? You have to pick your choice before it goes all the way up or you lose. Okay, if we really want to be a jackass, um, oh, wait. Right? Whoops. Do we not have immediate oh, no. Oh, we don't have... All right. Oh, no. Lol. So we have to disambiguate. You know what? Is it worth even having this overload? I say no. All right, so now we need to go. So what's happening here is like getRect has a definition of immediate triangle that it wants. Right? And okay, so this, I didn't change anything, but the reason I said to be a jackass is the following. Let's just hard code this. CB dot x equals O dot 2. This is just going to be funny. There we go. It's like tinted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is some Miami Vice shit right here. Toothpaste. When I full screened, it's instantly changed. It's not slow enough. I don't know what to say. Well, I mean, we're running at 10.51 FPS right now. You guys can't tell how low latency it feels too, but like it's very evident that even in like Windows UI or whatever, when they try to make it flashier with more color gradients like this, it's kind of laggy. Like you feel the difference when you're running something that responds instantly. It's much better. And you get chai juice, so. Oh, when I click off this, I probably should deselect it, but yeah. we'll do that later. When we do, like that's sort of a global focus thing, the same way that this stuff is. So, all right. Let's disable this. I just wanted to do that to be a jackass. You've had VS Code crash when you resize the window. Well, it's 2021. We can't possibly handle window resizing. Layout is not next. We have some more stuff. So I want to pull over a couple more things, such as color picker, such as in-game console, and the cool sideways opening panels that we have in the Sokoban editor. That might be everything, though. Make your layout work completely obsolete. So I don't know how we're going to do layout. Casey was saying that he does it with command buffer, which I don't feel the need to do it that way. I feel like so we have these state structs that do all this animation and stuff, right? They're why this animation can happen continuously and so forth. And like I think we can just draw all the state structs in a second pass. Like the first pass is just declaring the UI every frame. And then the second pass is like, all right, make it happen. And the only inconvenient thing about that is you can't do the thing you do right now about like if button is pressed. Like right now when you draw a button, right there, when you draw the button, you say, okay, if it was pressed, do this. And that's a convenient thing about immediate mode GUI. And if we take that away, because you don't know if the button's pressed right there. So the thing about, the thing about just declaring all this stuff like that is you can go back and tweak things. You could be like, hey, so for example, all these buttons are the same width, right? But imagine that it was a bunch of labels and they just have different amounts of text or something. And I want to know the widest one because they're left justified. Like you want to lay out the thing and then tell the region how wide it is or something. I'm definitely getting tired. So you don't want to draw it initially. I don't know. Like I'd be interested to talk to Casey in more detail about how he does this now. working on a more retained mode thing with maybe an editor. Yeah, I would say that this is about 10% retained mode right now, or maybe less. Like the text editing is a little bit retained mode, a little bit. But I'm not looking to make this a retained mode GUI necessarily. Although honestly, I don't care that much about retained mode versus immediate mode. What I care about is a high quality UI, right? That's easy to use and not a freaking pain in the ass. And so whatever that is, I'm down for it. Like, I wouldn't mind having it be more retained mode if I could do something more retained mode in a way that didn't bring all the headaches of retained mode GUIs. Which might be possible, honestly. Because coming at it, like if you just came at it from the history of retained mode GUIs and that was all you knew, then you're probably going to do more of that. But if you come at it from knowing about immediate mode GUI and what is easy about it, then maybe you could use that to inform the retained mode a little bit again. I don't know. Can I say what is retained about the text editing? Basically, the buffer, like you actually, okay, so most of these things you don't actually explicitly construct an object, right? You're just like, draw a button right now and it does it, okay? With the text editing, you actually do say, make a text editor. And then when you draw it, you tell it where to draw, but it exists before the draw and it holds the text and all this state of like what's highlight and so forth, right? That's basically it. Oh, and also there is a separate event phase. So for most of this stuff, there's not a separate event phase. You just say draw a button, and then it looks at what's happened with the mouse that frame and does things, right? With the text editor, there's a very specific, like, iterate over all the events this frame and pass it to the text edit thing. Right now. There might not be later, because we could get rid of that, honestly. The immediate mode in this context is just inputting vertices and color data in the render loop. No, it's more immediate mode than that. Immediate mode here refers to, like, to draw these 30 buttons, I don't at startup say new button 30 times and then keep them in an array somewhere. These buttons only exist when I'm drawing them. Like I just call a function to say do a button, right? These are not objects in memory anywhere that my user level program is aware of. Now the immediate mode GUI system does keep things in its own little cache so that it does all these color fades and stuff, right? But I, as the application programmer, do not do that. Seems like combining retained and immediate paradigms is a recipe for confusion later. No, if you think like that, you'll never do anything new, right? You have to be willing to do new things. What you want to do is the simplest, most useful thing, right? I don't care if that's retained or immediate. I really don't. Where is a cache stored? It's just in some variables in the getRect module. Basically, there's a bunch of hash tables, one for each type of widget, and you know, So in the hash table for buttons right now, there's like 30, 35 buttons or something. Maybe more, because I think I'm drawing these as buttons. I don't actually know. Is this using SDL? No, it is not. What CPU usage like? I think my main program is just drawing frames and then sleeping a little bit. Let's go see if it's sleeping. Yeah, so we're sleeping 10 milliseconds between frames. So let's, you got to keep in mind we're also streaming, right? So like how much is streaming? Like here's OBS. We're taking less than OBS, I guess, or about the same, roughly. I don't know, right? I don't know, man. I don't know how much to trust these numbers. Oh, now we're above. If I shrink us down, we take a little bit less, right? So this is like for full 4K, and then this is just a littler. Sleeping is bad. I don't care. Like, that's not in the widget toolkit. It's just in my example program. I can sleep all I want. It's my program. Our position inside. There's no layout yet. You just draw it where you want it. We'll do layout later. But I will say I am not attracted to the thing where you put stuff inside other stuff and then they kind of like auto figure out the size. I don't think that's a very good idea. I think that's kind of crap. I think you want to say what the size of everything is, because that's how you control things and that's how you know what's going on as an application programmer. And I think you want to have an easy way to put things next to each other in an ordered fashion, right? But I think you want to control how big things are, in my opinion. What's the alternative to sleeping? Well, you can wait for the vertical blank, which is just a different kind of sleeping. But it's a kind of sleeping that actually, like, it is the most cooperative in terms of making things happen correctly. Could you ask how I plan to do it? I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough, honestly. I kind of want to talk to Casey some more about it, maybe. Qt's box system is pretty controllable. Yeah, I haven't really. I've used Qt a really long time ago. Probably it's changed somewhat since I used it. Like I used it. I'm not exaggerating when I say in the 90s. Or possibly the early possibly the first couple years of the 2000s. It's very easy to tell the layout system what to do. Yeah, well, I mean, we had this discussion before, though. Like, I don't know. I kind of just want to try something and see what it's like. What if you want to hide a button or disable it? Well, so right now, you mean in here, you would just not call draw button for that button. Now, if you just call draw button or don't call draw button, then button 14 will be here, right? If you wanted to disable it, then you could, we actually don't have a disable flag on button, but we should add one. so that you could replace it with a label right now. Instead of drawing a button, you could draw a label with a label theme. But I guess we could add disabled on a button. I don't know. But like you kind of want, hey, the text is grayed out and it doesn't flash when you go over it and stuff. How do you do the clipping? We use the scissor rectangle. We literally just call GL scissor. We can add tooltips. Yeah, so tooltips, I feel like tooltips is a little bit related to global focus and stuff because like it's sort of what tooltip to show is sort of a global variable that's shared among everything, right? So I think we'll figure out focus first, and then we'll sort of add tooltips to that. But before we do any of that, we got a couple more widgets to do. And they're more, this one was easy, right? Which is why I was like, we'll just do it before I go to bed tonight. Right? It took us like an hour to do this one. And there are some details we want to do, like the button drag or whatever, but it's fine for now, right? For delivering value to the people, it's fine. So yeah, next, probably color picker next, because that's kind of advanced. Like color picker is not a widget that you get with a lot of things. Maybe by now you do. I'm sure like Qt has one. But it's like, if you give people that, like color picking is kind of annoying. And if you're just trying to get a program booting up, it's kind of a lot of work to make that. So giving it to people is actually significant value. How did I like Colorado? I like visiting Colorado. It was fun. How long did it take to write the GUI system? I don't know because, a lot of this is code that we had in the Sokoban editor, and I'm just porting it over and cleaning it up. But I am, I did kind of rewrite it mostly. And we did a bunch of it on stream before, like I forget when it was, but some months ago, I was doing GUI stuff just on the Sokoban game. And that was me being angry about the way the GUI was and rewriting a bunch of it. It didn't take that long, honestly. Like doing what you see here is not that hard in a modern programming system that's clean. As long as you don't, the important part is you have to not get trapped in all the operating system BS, because operating systems make it complicated to do all this stuff. But if you're just like rendering quads on the screen, this is not hard. We're rendering triangles, right? It's not hard. It's like the thing you have to do is just put a little more polish. Like it's easy for things to feel bad if you don't just put a little extra polish in them, right? So you just put a little extra. That's all. Is there a reason to recalculate color gradients? We're not even doing any gradients yet. But if I did, I would have it respond to the cursor position by having a little highlight near the cursor, because that would feel really flashy. So yeah, I would do that every frame. would I cache the gradients? Or what do you, for the color picker, would I cache the gradients? What do you mean by the gradients? Okay, hold on. Let's open the actual color picker. Hopefully this isn't out of date. I haven't run release build in a while, and I updated the game, so it's doing some asset crunching. Come on. Dude, shaders are such a pain in my ass. Just delete all the shaders. Now we're opening the editor. It's doing more shaders. All right. So, so color picker example is like here, right? Oh, we have an alpha picker. I don't know if it's worth porting that. I mean, I sort of have all these rectangles for like, but we don't really use them. Also, the revert button doesn't fucking work. All right. Anyway, so our color picker, it's got a couple modes. It's got like circle and triangle mode. I'm not, and so you could stash something and it goes in this list, right? And you can close it and open it again later, and it's got those. I don't know what you mean by the gradients exactly. So, Dorito mode. For the color wheel. We just draw this color wheel every frame. Right? So if the question is like, do you try to save the data? No. Because it's so trivial to do this compared to actually drawing the thing that you might as well just do it. Do I generate these colors by OpenGL only? What do you mean by generate these colors? Do you mean this gradient in the circle? No. We generate points in HSL or something like that. Or no, this is HSL. This is YCBCR or something. And then it's a linear transform to go from there to RGB. Right? And so we just do the transform in software. You could do the transform in a shader and it would probably be faster, but we just do it in software right now. Yeah, this is not a bitmap. This is not a bitmap. We are drawing basically a triangle strip for this circle. It's actually a bunch of quads. And you just can't really tell because we're drawing a lot of quads. And then this is one triangle, obviously. If we're going to be super modern UI, we could round the corners on this triangle. So it's CPU rendering? No, because the actual colors, the actual pixels are drawn on the GPU. We just figure out the colors on the CPU. So, okay, imagine that there's a wireframe mesh for this circle, okay? We pick the color at each vertex of that, and then we pass that data to the GPU. Like I could show you, right? So okay, so here's the circle. So we figure out the radius of the circle. Oh, we could, in the new juicier version, we could make the circle bounce a little bit when you move. That's going to be so stupid. Okay. So what can I say about this? So num segments is 100, right? So this is basically 100 line segments to go around the circle, right? So every 36 degrees, or no, 3.6 degrees. That sounds more realistic. And then we just do this loop where we take the cosine and the sine. We could cache all of this because it doesn't actually change, right? We could just keep a cosine and sine table that we compute on startup, but I didn't care. And then we just draw the quad for each thing. So that I don't get hairline cracks in here, I actually do save the vertices from the last iteration in the loop, right? I should save those as vector 3s. It's kind of silly that I don't. Anyway, but this is what it looks like. There's really not a lot to it. So I guess it is HSL that we compute the color in, and then we just convert it to RGB. So I guess this is hue, right? And this is SL right here. S is this axis and L is this axis. See here, I sort of go to big when I'm dragging and then off, but like we could animate that. Can make the triangle rotate toward the select. Oh, no, that would be obnoxious, I think. Wouldn't it? If we just followed this. Oh, maybe it wouldn't. I mean, maybe that would be kind of cool because this color is always the same as this color, kind of. Right? So like it would match. I don't know that. Maybe we'll put that as an option. It would be kind of obnoxious. Godot does that, and it looks nice. The GTK also, well, we can't let there be a triangle rotation gap between us and the Russians. So, how does Affinity do it? I don't know. Affinity probably doesn't even do the circle. Like Photoshop, I don't think does the circle, right? The circle was like a Corel Painter thing originally. XGA plus, like what? Who cares about that? Okay, so we've got a thing. Assistant added a new raster layer. Great. Okay, so color picker. How do I even? Oh, here's kind of, this is an adjustment. This isn't. How do I pick colors? Like in Photoshop, there's like a little foreground, background color. Ah, okay. So this is sort of their default color picker, which honestly, this looks like shit to me. It's super banded and weird and like mock banded. Is there an alternate one? No. Okay, so their color picker is crap. Except that it gives you a lot. Like, what? Look at that. This is not Twitch compression. Double click the circles. Okay, so this looks exactly like the Photoshop version. Ah, okay, here we go. Here we go. So they also rotate the wheel. Look, the wheel is a tiny overlap into the circle. Oh, yeah. I guess that does look better. It does look better than it just sitting here, right? So we could do that as well. It's kind of goofy, but maybe it's fine. We can have that be an option, right? Makes you dizzy. Ooh. Maybe it just rotates over. Actually, maybe the whole hue wheel just slowly rotates over time. This is actually, this is pretty good right here, right? Oh, and they pop a slider. Oh, check that out. And also, they draw the current color as the inside. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, we're going to want to tune all of this stuff. This is pretty good. This is like maybe a little better than our current settings. But it's like for a big color wheel. If you wanted the color wheel to be smaller, then maybe these dots are too small and block the color. I don't know. But having all of these, this is pretty good, having all of these. It looks kind of pro here. The thing about just clicking on this to get a slider, I'm not really sure if I like that. That doesn't feel that useful to me. I would like the thing right now where you right click to get a different color space, I think is better. Because I want to see it. I don't want like this rando slider. As cute as it is, I do not want that. I am getting kind of dizzy from the thing turning, actually. Whoever said that, it's true. Maybe we shouldn't do it. Yeah, I kind of have a headache now. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Anyway, we added value. Let me make sure I didn't break something. Look at those tests, guys. Boom. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom. All right. Tweeted at me a color wheel. Okay, I'll take a look at it offline. Yeah, I don't think the rotation is good. We could provide it as an option just to be snazzy, but I kind of don't think it's good. It would be even better if there were two independent columns of stashed colors. You mean like for foreground and background? Yeah, we could have two buttons at the bottom. Like, instead of one button that says stash, we could have a little button with an arrow to go into one or into the other, right? The spinning isn't appealing. Yeah, I don't know. I legit, I kind of have a headache from that. So, but we'll think about it. I mean, people are going to ask for it, so we might as well put it in because it's easy. It's very easy to make that triangle spin, so we could just do it. But But yeah. Could spin the ring instead. That would be horrible because it would like move the opposite direction of how you're moving the mouse, kind of like, you'd have to teleport the mouse pointer. I don't think people would like that. I do not think people would like that. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's bedtime for me. We created value today. We had no drop-down box, and now we have a drop-down box. It could use a little bit more feature-wise, but we have one. Add drop-down to get wrecked. Boom. Let's look at our example again. Whoops. No, not that. So for some reason, Commander doesn't keep your histories in different tabs separate exactly. I wish it did. It's very confusing. Okay. Look at all the things we have. We have text inputs with justifications and all kinds of like long inputting and like good drag behavior mostly, and cut and paste and all these things. We have buttons. We have little bouncy radio buttons and checkboxes. And we have things with autocomplete that'll complete hot cinnamon spice for you, or sea chai juice, or lapsang souchong. That's great. We have FPS counters with absolute motion, and then you can hold shift to go into relative motion with like a more sensitivity. This works on integer sliders now. I did that today. So like slow works and fast. And the buttons and the scroll bar. Oh my gosh. And then this. Look at all the things that we have. The way mouse teleportation works is different on every operating system. When is the monies for the beta? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It won't be for a while. It'll be at least a month from now. But maybe not much more. I don't know. We'll see. The witness has a lot of things. That is true. Now, I'm sorry to report we did not kill Chaos because Chaos is right here. Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to go to bed and have a good evening. I hope you all have a good evening as well. I hope you all have lots of good rectangle widgets in your life. See you later. See you later.